Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode numero 23 of the NordCast. It is Wednesday, April 26th, 2023. I'm your host, Nordic97 here, joined with Carter, who's rocking the Pit Vipers. How you doing today, Carter?
I'm doing fantastic. It's really dark in here, so I think I'll probably do these for intro, and then they'll get taken off. But I could be doing a lot better right now, but yeah, just trying to live life.
Love it. I'm here with Fire Truck Man Jack as well. Jack, how you doing?
Doing good. Got the fire trucks in the back.
Wee woo, wee woo. All right, so we got some videos and some stuff we got to go over today. But first off, Carter has a little bit of a drink review. So if you missed our last episode, we talked about, we ranked 6 different drinks. We ranked Gatorade, Prime, BioSteel, Water, Body Armor, and Powerade. Carter today, I'm just going to let him take it away. So Carter, what do you got for us today that you're going to be drinking?
Today I have Blue Raspberry Prime. I haven't tried it yet. I was going to drink this beforehand, but then Nordic told me to wait. So I guess I'm going to try it and see how it is.
Give it a try. Give us your thoughts. How does it taste?
It's good. It's not as sweet as Ice Pop.
Well, that makes sense.
This one's actually really solid.
Really? What would you give it out of 10? Out of 10 rating?
I give it a 8. I'll give it a 7 or 8.
Okay, Jack, have you had the Blue Raspberry?
I have not had the Blue Raspberry Prime.
I have not had it either, so we cannot bring up our thoughts on that. Anyways, playoffs, fun time for hockey. Since we talked, I believe each team has now played. Every team except for, I believe, a few have now played 4 games. A few have played 5. I believe Dallas, Minnesota, and Edmonton, LA, and Carolina, New York have each played 5. So we'll get into that. But we're going to go through series by series. 2 of them, I'm not going to bring up which ones, I have advanced stats for, so we'll get into that in a second. We're going to start off with Boston versus Florida, which Boston currently has the 3-1 series lead on Florida. Now, the game 5 is tonight, so by the time this podcast is recorded, obviously that game will have passed. So I'm going to ask you guys this question. Do you guys think that, Boston could take out the win tonight, or will Florida hold on for another game? So I'll start off with Carter. Carter, what do you think?
I think Boston finishes it out tonight. I don't see a world where Florida is going to steal 2 straight games in the TD Garden.
Not 2 straight, it's 1.
No, it'd be 2 straight in the TD Garden.
Oh, you're right. For Game 7, yeah.
No, I'm saying because Florida won Game 2.
Yeah. Oh,
in TD Garden.
Okay, right. I'm
Game
dumb.
5 is where? TD Garden.
I'm just stupid. Never mind.
Hey, you're good. So am I. I don't see a world where Florida will win 2 straight in the TD Garden, so I think Boston will knock them out tonight.
Yeah, probably. Honestly, I mean, the way Boston's been playing in this series, I can see that. The only way I couldn't see it is if Olmark's out again somehow. So, I can't see that. Jack, who do you think?
Yeah, I think Boston closes out tonight as well. They had the momentum in the series. I know Panthers, they won Game 2, but Boston's just been the better team in this series, and I don't see them fooling around tonight. I say they get the job done and move on.
I got to be honest. I knew Florida was going to win at least 1 or 2, but I didn't think it would be Boston would dominate this much. Yeah. The games haven't necessarily been really close whatsoever. For the sake of my bracket, I want Florida to win because I had Boston in 6. If that happens, so far actually all my brackets are perfect. Right now I'm perfect. I just need the Islanders to win and Carolina to win. I'm not going to get into it, but I need Florida to win tonight, but I'm probably going to say Boston's going to win and advance to the second round. Which in the next episode, we're going to start talking about teams and reviewing their seasons overall. So obviously we'll go with Florida and then start talking about some of the bottom teams in the league. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, we all have Boston closing it out tonight. Carolina versus the Islanders. It is 3-2 right now in favor of the Hurricanes. Now, do you guys think that Carolina will close this out in 6, or will Sorokin, the Islanders, push this to 7 or win in 7? So I'll start off with Jack this time. Jack, who do you think's winning this series?
Yeah, I don't know because it's been pretty back and forth. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see where sorry.
Are you okay?
You
No,
good?
no, sorry. Who are we talking about again? Sorry.
Carolina and the
Islanders and
Yeah,
Islanders.
Carolina.
Hurricanes.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, Carolina. Obviously they had the lead yesterday. And then Islanders came back and won that. So yeah, but Carolina, Carolina. Yeah, in six. Islanders. They've been playing pretty well. I know a lot of people picked an upset there. But yeah, I think Carolina closes it out.
Carter.
Sorry about
It's
I
all
don't know
good.
how I'm supposed to follow that up.
that.
Something
I
going
don't
on,
know.
Jack? What's happening?
Sorry, I was reading these texts.
Tessa just proposed to you?
No,
What's
no.
All right, Carter. What do you
All
got?
right, I'll I'll follow that up. Um, yeah. I think that I think that the Islanders will win the next game at home because like Carolina did take. They took game 3 at home or in
They took
the.
game 4. Islanders won game 3.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I got it backwards, but oh no, I really like how the Islanders played last night. They showed themselves as a complete team. They really played very solid and shut down Carolina. But I guess that's what happens when a slap shot hits Sebastian Aho in the face.
Yep.
Not Islander Sebastian Aho, Carolina Sebastian Aho.
That's been so
Um,
confusing.
I don't know if we're gonna get into that, but that was just a weird play where it just
Yeah.
hit him
That
right in
whole
the face.
series has been interesting. Like
Yeah,
that was
like it hit him in the face and then dropped down, and then Brock Nelson, I'm pretty sure, batted it either out of the air or just dropped right in front of his stick. But just a weird sequence that goal was. But anyways, I think the Islanders take Game 6, and then quite honestly, I think if they take Game 6, Game 7 could be a toss up because then Islanders are coming in two game win streak, going back to Raleigh.
yeah, they'll be hot.
So
Momentum's on their side.
I don't know. I think that
The
this
thing
game
is,
could be a toss up,
Carolina just doesn't lose at home. That's the thing.
but they did last night.
They
They did
they
last
did
night. Yeah.
they did lose in 7 against the Rangers.
Yeah.
We thought that Carolina was going to pull that off. And I will say this too: they are without Sebastian Pacioretty. So
Mm-hmm.
just saying.
Yeah.
I do think this series could go either way. For the sake of my bracket, I want the Islanders to win Game 6, and then I want Carolina to win Game 7. But honestly, I actually do feel like the Islanders could win Game 6, and this could go to 7. It just feels like that close of a series. And it just feels like the Islanders, they thrive being the lower seed and being the underdog. So honestly, I could see them winning this in 7, honestly. Next up, Toronto versus Tampa. Did you guys think that coming out of Game 3 and 4 that the Leafs would be up 3-1 in that series?
No, not at all.
Nope.
And I'm not happy about it. What is my entire feed right now and the news right now? Toronto, 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 Toronto.
Now, I'm going to ask you guys this question before you guys think we'll win this. Are you guys rooting for Toronto? I think Carter already answered it, but are you guys rooting for Toronto to win this series? Carter, I'm going to say no.
Here's
Jack,
my
what do you
here's
think?
my thing. It is a no, but at the same time, I just want this 2004 curse thing to be over and done with. Because as nice as it would be to go through my entire life without the Leafs making it past the first round, that would be awesome. But it's time. It's been almost 20 years before they pass the first round. It's time for them to just do it, and we can get this whole curse thing done and over with.
Yeah.
But I'm Tampa in 7.
Jack?
Yeah. I do want Toronto, and I think it'd be pretty cool. I know you guys don't like the fans, or not really anyone likes the fans, but I feel like they deserve it. They show out every game. They're very passionate. You see them just crowding outside the arena for every game. So even if they get out of the first round, the city will literally burn down. The fans will go crazy since it's been so long. And then if Boston wins, they'll play Boston in the second round. And I mean,
Yeah,
that'd be even crazier. I'm rooting for that to happen. So
Well, and the funny thing is, too, is if they win, not when, if they win in the first round, I cannot wait for all the comments saying, for Leafs fans to go crazy, and then seeing all the comments about how, oh, they're going insane, they won the first round, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I just can't wait for that. But I do want Toronto to win this in 7. I just want it to be done and over with. Even though it would be funny to see another year of choking, and it would be funny, Toronto could see a huge teardown if that happens. We talked about that in the last episode. So it is a must-win, honestly, a must-win series for them, whether they win it in 5 or 6 or 7. I do have the game-by-game here for y'all, and I do have some other stats that, can help you guys out. So game 1, they lost 7-3. That was a funny game. That kind of, for us, I think, for me at least, it put the series up in the air for really what could happen. Game 2 as well, they won 7-2. Then game 3 and 4 came along, and it really got me thinking, could Toronto pull this out? And it is their best chance to win it. So they won game 3, 4-3 in overtime with a last-minute goal from Ryan O'Reilly. Very impressive. Goes to show, the amount of heart and how good of a player Ryan O'Reilly really is. He took the blocked shot later on in that period and saved potentially the Leafs from losing game 3. So, he's done a good job there. And then they won game 4, 5-4 in overtime, which, by the way, they came back from being down 4-1, which is something that we always say that, they're up 4-1, they're losing. Or, they go down 4-1, they're losing. But the Leafs kind of beat their own demons here and with winning that game. And that's why I honestly think that they will win this series now. Because that was one of the humps that they had to overcome. They lost 4-1 in 2013. Nearly 10 years later, they win after coming back from being down 4-1 in 2023. So honestly, and both those games they did it without Michael Bunting. So honestly, I really do think that Toronto will win this in 5. Now, for some other stats, your leading playoff scorer for the Leafs is Mitch Marner, who through 4 games played has 2 goals, 8 assists for 10 points, and is a +6 overall. Has been really good these playoffs, has been just outstanding. And Vasilevsky, unusual stats here from him. He has led in 19 goals against in 4 games played. Now, Toronto in last year scored 23 goals the entire 7-game series. And then as well as that too, in 2021, you guys may not believe this, but that's the amount of goals that Vasilevsky let in through the entire playoff run. Playing against Florida, playing against Carolina, playing against the Islanders, playing against the Montreal Canadiens. He literally let in 19 goals the entire playoff run. So that to me tells me that, yeah, Toronto is going to win this series. But honestly, for your guys' sake, who do you guys think is going to win? Not who you guys are rooting for. Who do you guys think? Carter? I went on there for a little bit, but Carter, go.
No, you're good. Listen, Toronto has been as Jack would always say, Toronto has been firing on all cylinders. There really looks to be nothing slowing them down. As you said, this is a different Vasilevsky that, quite honestly, we've never seen before. Nope. Vasilevsky has never been like this. He's pretty much close to a 5 GAA in the playoffs right now. This is not the Vasilevsky we've heard of. Up until, I'm pretty sure it was last season, up until the last playoffs, he did not lose a back-to-back. He did not lose a game after losing, ever. Nope. He's done that twice in a row this series, and he did it once last series when they lost in the Stanley Cup final to the Colorado Avalanche. But this is not a Vasilevsky that we are used to seeing. I don't know if it's Tampa Bay's tired, because after going to 3 straight Stanley Cup finals, winning 2 of them. Yeah,
we talked about that multiple times. Yeah, and by the way, it's been 3 times that he's lost back-to-back, because he lost back-to-back against the Rangers.
Did he?
Yeah, because the Rangers went up 2-0 in the series.
Oh, yeah. Okay, anyways, I was wrong. But
no, that's fine.
He's only lost 4 back-to-back games in his entire, or in the last 3-4 years of the playoffs and stuff like that. So this is a different Vasilevsky. Can we just say that Tampa Bay is just tired? They're just drained.
Yeah.
3 straight Stanley Cup finals could honestly do that to you. Even just 1 Stanley Cup final could do that to you. But quite honestly, I do think that Toronto could end up winning the series. But hey, they've blown 3-1 leads to worse teams before. So
yes,
I would not be shocked if there was one team to come back down 3-1, it's going to be Tampa. So
it's got to be. Yeah, I agree.
The series is not locked down at all yet, but I think that Toronto finally closes out their demons and win this series.
It's not. And to extend on what you're talking about, as well as being absolutely tired, because we talked about this multiple times before, we'll bring it up again. they've played. You have to win 16 games to win a playoff series, and you combine last year they won 14, combined with 32. 14 plus 32 is 46, if I'm correct. So somewhere around there. And that doesn't even include all the losses they suffered. That 46 alone is over half a season of hockey. Extra season of hockey that you're playing in the playoffs. So of course they're going to be tired, but as well as that too, significant players have left in past years. Like they have to keep paying guys more and more. Like this year, Alex Killorn could be on the way out. And as well as that too, they have so many injuries. Hedman's been out for the majority of the series. Sergachev took a hit last night. Just so many guys are out of the lineup right now and hurt. And Braden Point also looks hurt too. It just is not looking good right now for Tampa, and this is Toronto's best shot to win. But as you said, they've blown leads to multiple teams before, and it doesn't feel like that this year, though. Last year, or with Montreal, it was like, yeah, it could happen, and we joked about it, and it actually happened. This year, I don't really feel like that happens, but I've been wrong. Jack, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, just the injuries Tampa's dealing with and all that extra hockey, I think it's really taken a toll on them, honestly. I think they had the guys to compete for another cup, but yeah, you guys mentioned they're just tired. And I would agree with that. This team just looks tired. And they had that 4-1 lead the other night, and they just collapsed in that third period. And Leafs were able to capitalize on there and then eventually win it in overtime. And if this series is 2-2, I think Tampa takes this series. But since it's 3-1,
I agree.
Yeah, 2-2 is so much different than 3-1, and so that was huge from the Leafs to come back from that 3-goal lead from Tampa, and yeah, I don't see the Leafs losing this, honestly.
I can't.
Yeah, like you guys said, if the Leafs are gonna blow a lead, it's gonna be to Tampa. So
yeah, you brought up something that I actually remember from last year's, or from earlier this week. What I thought, and when they were up 4-1, and the funny thing is, when they were up 4-1, I went to sleep. I was gonna go to sleep, but I ended up not going to sleep. And you know what I thought when they were up 4-1? I was like, if they
another choke.
Yeah, I felt like Tampa was gonna win that series. Seeing them be up 4-1, I thought, yeah, Tampa's probably taking the series, in all honesty. But then the Leafs came back, and I was like, oh man, this has to be the year that they do it. It just has to be. Like I can't think of a year where they've had a better chance to win. Yeah. And if we come back, and by the time this podcast is up, I think it's most likely that the first round will be concluded. I think you guys can agree with me there. If we record like Monday or Tuesday, I think the first round will be done. By the time our next podcast is recorded, I'm gonna look at the schedule right now. But we could be either talking about how Toronto is in the second round against Boston or Florida, or we could be talking about how they're not going to be.
Or it's just an entire podcast about laughing at the Leafs. But
we actually could have a podcast that could be just dedicated to the Leafs. We could have an entire section talking about that.
Quite honestly, we could just start a separate podcast just about the Leafs.
Yeah, that's a good idea. But yeah, Toronto has to win this series for sure. Anyways, moving on. Now we're going to move on to the Rangers versus the Devils, which. When we first recorded, I believe it was 2-0 Rangers when we last recorded. Now it's 2-2. So honestly, it although I do have Rangers in 7, it really is a coin flip on who this series could go to. I want to give a shout out to Akira Schmidt, who the funny thing is when Schmidt started in Game 3 of this series, I saw a Rangers account because I follow all the hockey related fan accounts and all that stuff. I saw the Rangers account post Akira Schmid starting for Game 3 for the Devils, and I went into that comment section, and it was like, bro has mid in his name, Schmid with mid capitalized, all those funny jokes in that. I thought to myself, what if the Devils win these next 2 games and tie up the series? What are Rangers fans going to think then? And what do you know? They won the next 2 games in that series. Now, we're going to go to trending players for a second here, because I do have Schmid listed. Because I wanted to give him a shout-out. He, through those 2 games, is 2-0 with a .91 goals against average and a .966 save percentage. So, is he mid? I don't think so. So, yeah, the Rangers fans kind of jinxed themselves there, and it's kind of funny. But I do want to know your guys' thoughts, because initially, I think we all said Rangers. I might be wrong. But, Carter, who do you think is going to win this series now?
I don't know. it's hard to say because it doesn't look like home ice advantage means anything to these two teams.
Or we're in the playoffs, honestly.
Yeah, in the playoffs in
A
general.
few days ago, all the teams that played won on the road. So home ice kind of means nothing now, to be honest, in this year's playoffs.
Ouch. But anyways,
Sorry, Carter. I was backing you up. I was saying what you meant.
No, I know. But anyways, home ice advantage doesn't look like it means anything to either two of these teams right now. So I have no idea what's going to happen. But right now, like we would have thought, Rangers are going into Madison Square Garden. They got all the momentum. They are prepared to steamroll the Devils. Does not happen. What are we going to say this time? Maybe it's going to be Devils go into, what's it called, the Prudential Center?
Prudential Center, yeah.
Yeah, they go into the Prudential Center. They got all the momentum. They're going to steamroll them. What's going to happen? Quite honestly, there's a couple of these series where I don't actually know because it's just been such a confusing playoffs this year, I swear. So
that's what made it fun. It's been a really fun playoffs.
Yeah, it's
I've
been
enjoyed it a lot more than past years.
Oh, 100%. This has been a fun playoffs to watch because right now there's no favorite. I feel like of course people are going to have their favorites, but there's no clear cut number one team. And right now, no first round sweeps, which is really rare for like a playoffs.
That hasn't happened in forever, I don't think.
I don't know the last time there would have been. Because there's usually at least one time where there's like one team against this bottom feeder team and just steamroll them. But anyways, back on topic here. I don't actually know who's going to win this series. I think it'll still be the Rangers, but at the same time, if Schmidt keeps playing how he's played in these last two games, this series could go back in the Devils' favor here.
I agree. Jack, before I talk more. Jack, what do you think?
Yeah, game 4, I think Rangers definitely had the upper hand. I watched that whole game, and the Rangers were just the better team, especially in the second and third period, and just a lot of chances. And Schmidt, this guy comes in, and he's on fire right now. So they'll start him in game 5, right? I'm sure they will.
I would assume so. Yeah. Game 5 is Friday?
It should be tomorrow.
I don't think it's tomorrow.
I think it's Friday. Or maybe Friday? It might be tomorrow.
I don't know, because Leafs play tomorrow, so I got no idea. Let me look.
I'll look. Jack, go.
Yeah.
It's Thursday.
It's Thursday?
Yeah, along with Jets and Knights, which we'll get into in a second.
Yeah, I still think the Rangers will win this series. I just think they have too much talent to be out in the first round. And for the Devils, it's their first year of kind of this young core of guys, and it's all their first playoffs. And as we get later in the series, the pressure's on them. And the Rangers have been here before. They got guys like my guy Patrick Kane. They bring in Tarasenko. And, I mean, these guys have played in the playoffs before. They know what it's all about. And, I feel like the whole Rangers team they know what it takes to win. And Shesterkin in net, he's just unbelievable. I don't see the Rangers losing this series.
No, I agree with you. I have the Rangers winning in 7, but I do agree with Carter as well. There is no clear-cut favorite in this series, and for a lot of the playoff series so far too, there really is no clear-cut favorite because a lot of these series, almost all these series, have been extremely close. Like they have been close pretty much the entire way through. And with the Devils winning Game 3 and 4, I actually thought that the Rangers really could sweep or win it in 5. But now the Devils could win it in 7 or 6. It's very valid. It could potentially happen. Schmidt could carry them. He's been really good in this playoffs. But I'm still going to say Rangers in 7. The Rangers are still a really good team. They got too much assets to lose in the first round. If they lose in the first round, my mind will be blown. If the Devils actually come out and beat them, my mind will be blown away because the amount that the Rangers got in this year's trade deadline, for them to lose in the first round would be freaking insane. They got Patrick Kane, they got Vladimir Tarasenko, along with already the other top players they have. If the Devils, with little to no playoff experience and a lot of young players, and if not that, rookies, that would be insane. And it would just be such a story for this Devils team. But honestly, I can't see that happening. Rangers in 7. So we got any more thoughts in the Eastern Conference? I'll give you guys one more thing. Who do you guys think will win the East now with all these series going on? Do you guys still think the same team you had winning the East? Jack, you had Rangers?
I had Boston.
You both had Boston, I had Rangers. Do you guys still have those same teams?
I still have Boston, yeah. I think they've been the best.
Carter's shaking his head.
No, I don't think so. I don't know what it is with Boston, but I do not really have faith in them anymore. I don't know what it is, but I've really liked. I don't know if I said this on the podcast or anything, or if I said this to someone else, but I think that it's going to be one of these teams in the Metro side of the bracket.
You did. Well, you said you wanted one of the teams to be on the Metro side of the bracket.
I think it will be. I like all these Metro teams. I like how they've been playing recently. So I think out of the East, it's going to be one of those Metro teams.
President's Trophy curse! Yeah, honestly, and this is what goes with all the teams. Last year, I thought this with, who was first in the league last year? I forget.
Florida.
Colorado?
Florida.
Or Florida. Yeah, that's right. I felt this with Florida, and I feel this every year with all the number one leading teams. Are they going to – I don't feel like they're going to win. I just didn't feel like they were going to win. Boston, I feel a little bit different about. I feel like they will go further than most of the other President's Trophy winning teams, but I don't think they win. I still have Rangers. But honestly, if Toronto does win this first round, I kind of do think they could go all the way because the pressure is gone. The pressure is gone from them to – well, first round pressure is gone. Toronto fans, if they lose in the second round, if they get swept – I think Toronto fans will be happy. They'd be happy with the progress they made. Well, they'd be happier. Okay, all right, fine, Carter. You can disagree with all you want. But honestly, I do think that they could go all the way if they win because they do have a really good team on paper. It's just that first-round curse that just they can't get away from. So moving on to the Western Conference, we got Vegas and Winnipeg. Vegas is up 3-1 on the Winnipeg Jets. Hey, Carter, how's it going? How you doing? So, for this podcast, we're going to go a little bit of a throwback. I'm going to take you guys back to 2 episodes ago in episode 21 when Carter had his Stanley Cup pick. It's going to be a little bit of a longer clip, so here you go.
We keep this up in the playoffs. I don't care. Jets, Bruins, Cup final. Boston loses in 7. Jets, Stanley Cup champs. What? I'm saying this now. I am predicting this now. Jets are winning the cup.
So, Carter, I'm going to go straight to you right away here. You don't look so happy, but I just want to know, how are you feeling about this series? Because I'm going to be honest with you, it is 3-1, but there is still hope. Do you think that the Jets can pull this off and win 3 straight and win it in 7? Carter, what do you think? Don't stand there in silence. I swear to God.
Okay. Is there still hope? Very slightly. I still do think – I don't even know anymore, to be honest. Look, call this an excuse all you want. I do not care, to be completely honest. Here's my thing. Cole Perfetti, out. He hasn't been with the team that much, so I don't really care about that. Nikolai Ehlers gets hurt in our second last game of the season. Was supposed to be back for game 1. Has not been back at all. Why? I don't understand this one bit. I don't know why he's not playing. I don't know if it's the coaches. I don't know if it's him. I don't know if it's the trainers. I don't care. He is our best shooter, and he is not on the ice against a goalie who is, let's be honest, not very solid. Mark Scheifele. No. I'll go to Scheifele later. Actually, you know what? No, I will go to Scheifele right now. Scheifele gets hurt early in game 4. Tries to play through it. Doesn't. Can't. Misses the rest of the game. We lose. The next day, Mark Scheifele
Would be back for game 5.
Bro, if it took you a day before you're like, you know what, I think I'm doing better. Why didn't you play? I get it. There's injuries and stuff like that. To be honest, I don't really care. But, the glass is off now. This is just bad. The fact that if he comes back and plays game 5, I'm going to be a little upset here because you can't miss game 4. Now, Josh Morrissey, done for the first round. We make it past the first round. He's done for the second round. Okay, he is our Norris defenseman. Josh Morrissey is done. He's hurt. He is our leader on defense. I don't understand. It is bad. We are injury riddled right now, and we are on our last leg of life. If Mark Scheifele does not play in Game 5, we better be getting Nikolai Ehlers back. If we get Scheifele back
Scheifele's not playing in Game 5.
What?
He's not playing in Game 5.
Ehlers?
Or Scheifele is not.
Apparently he might be. He told Rick
No, it
Boner
said
he
he's
might.
not today. I'll literally bring up the post right now. Puck Empire. It said that. Let me hold on. Hang on a second. Puck Empire, Mark Scheifele will miss Game 5 against Las Vegas due to injury. 2 hours ago. So, sorry, Carter. So,
Might be
Vegas
over.
5?
We're injury riddled. Hellebuck has not been playing Hellebuck. Logan Stanley's one of our defensemen. On the bright side, we have Adam Lowry.
Oh, this is painful for you, isn't it?
This is really painful.
Yeah, it's not going to look so well when this is posted everywhere on all social medias that, the Jets lost in 5. I actually had optimism after they won Game 1. I was like, you know what? They could actually win the first round.
Yeah, so did I. And then we decided we're going to have them score the same amount as we did in the last game. But hey, I will say I went to Game 3, as probably a lot of you guys know. That game was really fun. I wish we would have won that game because that would have been awesome to have come. Huh?
Double overtime, right?
Yeah, double overtime. We were down 4-1. Then we came back in the third period thanks to Adam Lowry. Yeah, quite honestly, I've probably been talking for a long period of time here about the Jets.
No, it's your team. You have a right to.
Yeah.
I'll talk about the Coyotes
Yeah.
as long as I want.
I'm going to say one thing. This is what I'm going to end on. Or, no, it's not. The Jets are injury riddled. And we need Nikolai Ehlers back. We need our best shooter back. If we win Game 5, I think we can take Game 6. Maybe. Who knows? Home ice doesn't mean anything to the Jets. But yeah, I think of course Game 5 is a must win, but I think we win Game 5. I think we can storm back and take this series in 7, but it seems very unlikely. We've come back down worse in goals, not in playoff series before. So, yeah, I will end my Jets rant on one thing.
Adam Lowry better be our captain.
Okay, that's a whole discussion for another time. But yeah, I want to go into Winnipeg here a little bit. Now, didn't this happen in 2020 with them against Calgary, where Line and Scheifele both got hurt in the same game, and that's why they lost? Yeah, I feel like it's like that this year. Morrissey's out, Scheifele's out, Perfetti's out, Ehlers is out. That's 4 guys there who are pretty prime players, except maybe Cole Perfetti, but that's arguable. He's been solid. Okay, Carter. I don't really care what you think. But yeah, Vegas, honestly, even though I thought they should put in Jonathan Quick, and we even said this in the last episode that they should put in Jonathan Quick, they put in Bressois, but Bressois is kind of upset against his own team here, and yeah, it's kind of the main reason why Jets are up 3-1 against Winnipeg. Jack!
Jets are up 3-1 against Winnipeg? You mean Vegas is up 3-1?
Yeah, Vegas is up 3-1. You wish it was Jets 3-1.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Yeah.
Jack, how are you doing?
I mean, what?
Jack, how are you doing?
Oh, doing good. Sorry.
What are your thoughts on Jets in Winnipeg?
Yeah. After Game 1,
Bro, do you not know team?
the Jets in Winnipeg. All right.
Yeah.
Are we talking about the New York Jets? Or are we going into Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, what are your thoughts on Aaron Rodgers going to the New York Giants?
Yo,
man,
hi TikTok.
Yeah. All right, Jack. You can share your thoughts on it if you want with Aaron Judge. I wasn't going to talk about that, but
Aaron Judge? Bro, you did it again! No. Okay, Nordic, I'm going to take the reins from you. Jack, what are your thoughts on the Winnipeg Jets right now?
Yeah. Winnipeg Jets. We're talking about Winnipeg, not New York, right?
Yeah, Winnipeg Jets. You got that? You got that?
Yeah. I heard Aaron Rodgers is actually filling in for Mark Scheifele in the next game. So.
Oh, is he? Is he?
Yeah.
Wow. I thought that we were getting Zach Wilson in that deal.
No, yeah, but Jets won Game 1. Like you guys said, I thought they had a real chance at this, and then the 4-1 comeback, as you mentioned, Carter. Usually when teams they come back like that, we usually see them win in overtime. But obviously, they couldn't in overtime. There's a lot of good chances there, especially in the first overtime for the Jets. Unfortunately, not able to capitalize. But yeah, now Vegas is up 3-1, and they're going back home for Game 5. So I think, I think Vegas will close this out.
I would like to say one thing in that double overtime. I feel really bad for Dylan Sandberg. Like, that was just such an unlucky bounce that it just happened to go off of, I'm pretty sure, March or so, just right on the guy's stick. Just very unfortunate. I was at that game, and it happened, like, right in the corner that I was sitting in. Sandberg was just upset afterwards. Like, everyone was going to give him a hug and stuff like that. So, just unfortunate for a young player like that. So, yeah.
All right, first
Are you
off,
doing okay, Nordic?
Yeah, I'm good. Isn't Aaron Judge a baseball player?
Yeah.
I don't know why I said Aaron Judge.
I have no idea either.
Aaron Judge played for like what? The Yankees?
Yeah, Yankees.
Oh my god. Yeah, moving on from Jets Winnipeg before my brain explodes.
You can't!
Wait.
Bro! Oh my goodness. Okay, you know what? I'm going to take the reins here. All right, so we are going to move on to the other series in the Pacific, the Edmonton Oilers and the LA Kings. So, starting it off, Jack, what are your thoughts on this series so far?
Yeah, Edmonton, they've looked good. Last night, they looked really good actually. It's not just McDavid and Draisaitl like we've seen in the past putting up production. I mean, it's the whole team. And yeah, the Kings. I'm pretty sure the Kings went up 2-1 in this series, if I'm not mistaken, right?
It's 3-2 LA.
Yeah, I know it's 3. No, it's
Edmonton! Okay,
It's
no, Nordic, this is actually upsetting, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I'm very upset right now. This is
okay. All right. Let me get back on track.
Nordic,
No, this is my podcast.
Entire TikTok. I'm so excited.
Okay, all right. Oilers are up 3-2 on the Kings. Okay, the first game the Oilers won, or the Kings won in overtime. Second game Oilers won. Third game Kings won in overtime. Fourth game Oilers won in overtime, and the fifth game is Friday, I think.
This game already happened.
Sixth game is Friday. Yeah.
Game 5, Edmonton won.
My fault.
Command.
I am in a different world. So, you look at this series, it's been pretty close. I will admit that. The Kings have stayed in it more than we thought they were going to, even though I had Edmonton in 7. When they won Game 3, I low-key thought maybe. And if they didn't blow that 3-0 lead, it's 3-1 LA. LA could have very well won that, but we said that with Tampa, with the Leafs, but then the Oilers came back and won. Which, let me just say, was an unbelievable comeback, unbelievable to watch, very fun, very entertaining, just all around. And this series has been really fun. I do think the Oilers win it in 6, though. Jack, what do you think?
Yeah, I think Oilers also close it out Friday night. I said earlier, it's not just McDavid and Draisaitl. And we've seen that in past years in the playoffs, and that's pretty much why they've gotten eliminated. But yeah, I mean, the whole team's producing, especially Hyman. That goal off of his face last night, oh my gosh, that was amazing. Scoring a goal off of his face. And just a really dominating performance from Edmonton last night. And I don't see them slowing down. They're the better team in this series, and I think they know that. I don't see them. I don't see them slowing down. I think they'll close this series out in 6.
I want to say this too. Leon Draisaitl, one of my trending players. I'm just giving all my trending players away. But Draisaitl, in 5 games played in these playoffs, he has 6 goals, 4 assists for 10 points, and is a +3. So, and as well as that too, he has been on the ice for every single Oilers goal, which is crazy to think. Now, when you look at this series, the Oilers, I didn't look up the numbers because I didn't have this series with extra notes. Honestly, the Oilers have scored what? They scored 4 in the one game. Or they scored 3 in the one game, 7 in the one game, so that's 11 right there. They scored 3 in the one, so that's... Okay, I'm not going to do the math, but it's a lot of goals. I'm not very smart today, but it's a lot of goals. So, yeah, Carter, what do you think? Oh my God. I don't know what's wrong with me today. Jets Winnipeg.
Thank you. Edmonton's been really good lately. One thing that I would like to point out is their power play. This was a tweet from a guy we've had on the podcast, Max, Bruins fan. He tweeted out the best power play in the playoffs, and it is the Oilers leading by 16% in their power play at 57.1% on the power play. So you give them a power play, half the time they are scoring on that. So a real key for teams that are going to end up playing Don't give them a chance on the power play because that power play is ridiculous. You got McDavid on one side, Draisaitl on the other. Either side you shoot. Listen, you got to lock down both wings there. So Edmonton has been playing really well lately. So have the Kings, though. Like, we can't throw shade on the Kings. They've stayed in every single game, except for that last one, which was a dominating performance by the Edmonton Oilers back at home. But yeah, I think the Oilers can close out this series in 6 or 7.
I agree. I 100% agree. Colorado and Seattle. I'm going to be honest with y'all. This, for me, has been the most surprising series of all these. I'm not going to lie to you. And you guys might agree with me. You guys might not. But out of all these series, this is the most surprising one. Because I don't think any of us had Colorado, nobody had Colorado staying with Seattle. Nobody had Seattle staying with Colorado this long. Honestly, a lot of people had sweep. Sweep. I think so. I think the majority of us had 5. I think we all had 5, actually. Did we?
I think
Well,
so.
I think one of us had Kraken winning, actually. Jack, it might have been you.
I didn't have Kraken winning, no.
I don't know. Was it Carter?
Mm-mm.
It definitely wasn't. I had them winning in 5. I had Colorado beating Seattle in 5. That hasn't happened, clearly. Colorado and Seattle right now are tied 2-2. So my question is, can Seattle pull off this upset against Colorado? Now, let me go through the stats before I tell you guys. They won Game 1, 3-1, which was shocking. I didn't think they would win Game 1. Game 2, they were up 2-0. Imagine if they win Game 2 and go up 2-0 against Seattle. What do you think? Kraken in 5? Could have happened. But I wouldn't trust Colorado. They are the defending Cup champions. But they lost Game 2, 3-2. They lost Game 3, 6-4, which, mind you, was a very fun game as well. They were down 3-1 at one point. Then they tied it in less than 20 seconds. And then Colorado obviously won, though. But then they won Game 4 in overtime 3-2. And if Colorado had won Game 4, Colorado in 5, for sure. Now, Game 5 is tonight. At the time I'm recording on this podcast, it's tonight. So when the next podcast comes out and when this one's released, obviously that game will have passed. So we're going to go through both scenarios here. If Colorado wins Game 5, do you guys think that Seattle could still pull it off and win in 7? Do you guys think that? Carter, we'll start with you.
I don't know. If Colorado does take the game tonight, I think it's wraps for Colorado. I think that they'll end up just taking the series in 6.
Oh, I thought you meant a wraps for Seattle. Like they're going to lose this. Like they're going to. Yeah. Okay. Anyways. Jack?
No.
I thought the other way around.
No.
Yeah, I think Colorado will still win the series. But like you said, surprising series to see the Kraken put up this kind of fight. And I mean, this is an expansion team just 2 years ago, and they're hanging in there with the Stanley Cup champs. And I feel like these guys are still developing chemistry with each other. So yeah, it's been pretty cool to see. A good story for the Kraken. They're really good in the regular season. Surprising us there too. I didn't even have them making the playoffs. I don't think so.
I don't think any of us did.
Yeah, no. And then now you see them
finishing close to the bottom of the league. I might have had them 8th actually.
Yeah.
I might have had them dead last. But yeah, I do agree with you. I think they will take the series if Colorado wins Game 5. But Paul Bissonnette did say, and I will go into this too, he did say that the Kraken are just a bunch of expansion draft people. This is mostly the team that was selected in the expansion draft, just a bunch of, guys have a chip on their shoulder, really. They were the unsung heroes. They were cut from their original teams, Now, if Seattle wins tonight on the road in Colorado, do you think that Seattle could pull it off? Carter?
Yeah. I think Game 5 is a pivotal game for both teams here. I think whoever takes Game 5 will win this series in 6. So I think if the Abs win it tonight, they'll win it in 6. If Seattle wins it tonight, they'll win it in 6. So I think that this series will be set in stone by Game 6. It's just going to come down to whoever wins tonight.
Jack?
Yeah, I'm going to go Game 7, actually. I think Colorado wins tonight, and then Kraken win the next game, and then the Avalanche will take it in 7.
I can see that. For some more advanced stats here now, as I said, the Kraken are the deepest team, or have been said to be the deepest team in the NHL. Their leading point scorer in this year's playoffs so far has been Justin Schultz, with 4 games played, 1 goal, 4 assists for 5 points, with a +1. Notice how, with Marner, he had 10 points. With Draisaitl, he has 10 points. Just notice how, like, those guys have significant amounts of points, and Schultz only has 5. And a lot of the players on the team, too, have significant amount of points. Like, I believe that almost everybody on that roster, except for 3, has a point in this year's playoffs, which I don't think many rosters can say that. So it just goes to show how deep this team really is in this year's playoffs so far. Grubauer has also been a pretty impressive player through 4 games played. He is 2-2, a 2.76 goals against average, but a .916 save percentage. Has been good when he has to be with Colorado, and as well as that, or Seattle. And as well as that, too, he is also the goalie with the most wins in the playoffs as a German-born goaltender, which is pretty impressive. He broke that stat with a Game 4 win. So, whether team win the series tonight, whichever team wins the game tonight, who do you guys think wins this series? We can just say it, just kind of say it, because we kind of already went in depth with it. Carter?
Avs.
Jack?
Avalanche.
I'm going to say Avs, but if Kraken wins tonight, I think Kraken could pull it off, which means that I'm going to owe $50 to a girl. Anyways, moving on now to Minnesota versus Dallas. Dallas is currently up 3-2 in that series against the Minnesota Wild. So who do you guys think will win that series? Because really, I could see it going 7. I could see it going 6. Who do you guys think, Carter?
I have no idea, quite honestly. This series has been very back and forth so far. Like, as with a lot of these series, there's no clear-cut favorite. Personally, I think it'll be Dallas will win this series in 7. But again, I could see Minnesota winning this series as well. So I think this will be a very back and forth end to the series, but I do think that that Dallas will be able to close this one out.
Jack?
Yeah, I have Minnesota, and honestly, I'm going to stick with Minnesota. I think they'll win this series in 10. Last night,
10?
obviously.
10?
You said 10, Jack.
You said they'll close out the series.
My
in 10.
bad. 7. Yeah.
Y'all are off today. What the?
I know.
I think they'll win this series in 10 games.
yeah.
I think the NHL will just be like, hang on, we need 3 more games of this.
This is a best of 11 series or something? Like, wait, that wouldn't even be possible. Like, best of, 21? Like, what?
No, best of 11 would be possible.
No, it wouldn't.
Yeah, it was 6 and 5.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
5, yeah.
Any odd number, you can have a best of series.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I'm sticking with Minnesota in 7.
Yeah, I could see that too. I have Dallas in 7 for my bracket, but so far, and I'm going to ask you guys this final question before we wrap up the playoffs, or this talk of the playoffs. Finally, how's your bracket doing? How's your guys' bracket doing? I know Carter's not so good, but Jack, how's yours doing?
Mine's doing pretty well for the most part. Let me pull it up real quick.
My actual bracket though is doing nice.
Yeah, your Jets bracket not doing so good. My bracket's almost perfect. I think it actually is perfect. Unless if Winnipeg wins against Vegas, I think my bracket's perfect.
Yeah. Unless if Winnipeg wins, unless if every other team you didn't pick also wins, then it's not perfect.
No, what I mean is games wise, because if a lot of these series I had going 6 and 7. So right now my bracket's doing just fine, and the teams that I had winning those games in 6 or 7 are winning right now. So unless if the Jets win, my bracket is perfect.
Why did you have Knights in 5?
New York Knights in 5, yeah.
New York Knights again! Yes!
I heard you say New York Knights, so I said New York Knights.
No, you said New York Knights. I didn't say New York Knights.
Oh my God, Carter. Yeah.
Check the tape.
I won't check the tape. And you said New York Knights. Okay, all right, I'm done.
Well, so did you.
Bracket.
You said Jets Winnipeg.
Yeah, my bracket's good for the most part. If Dallas wins Game 6, it's not looking good, but yeah.
All right. Anything else in regards to the series? We're going into it a little bit here, but we're going to go in the headlines. Anything else?
Got nothing.
Nope. Well, I think this is the longest time we went without going through headlines. That was about 50 minutes there of just straight up playoff talk. But here we are, headlines. Detroit, Minnesota, Ottawa, and Toronto will all play in Sweden over this coming season and over the International Global Series. So obviously good there for the game. Adds on to the preseason games that will be played in, Australia, Salt Lake City, Kansas. There's a lot of other exhibition games that will happen during the preseason and the regular season as well. Do you guys know the Stadium Series and the Winter Classic for this year yet? Or Seattle and Vegas are playing in the Winter Classic. I don't know what the Stadium Series is. I can't think.
I'm not
I'm
sure
not
what it
100%
is.
sure.
Have you guys heard of anything? Oh, it might be Toronto. Tampa and Florida is one thing I saw. Or that could have been what I came up with, because I came up with that too. All that Carter do is research. But yeah. Calgary has a new arena in the works for a $1.2 billion deal that will be split between the province, the city, and the Calgary Flames ownership. If you guys want to know more information on this, there is a YouTube video up on my YouTube channel discussing this as with the news we have right now. Martin Furk, right, has signed a 2-year deal with SC Bern. He is famously known for having the best slap shot in the AHL. So yeah, obviously has been a solid player, but he's no longer in the NHL. Justin Braun has announced his retirement. Braun played about 13 seasons in the NHL and has 199 points in 482 games played. Best of wishes to him in retirement. Carter, did you get anything?
Yeah, Google kept saying that the Stadium Series and Winter Classic are the same thing. So
Okay.
it just kept telling me Seattle.
All right, well, I'm going to have to look that up later on. Valerie Nichushkin, and this is some unfortunate news here. He had to leave the Avalanche due to personal reasons. That personal reason has now been announced as a alcohol-related issue. There was an incident in the Avalanche Hotel, I believe, between Game 3 and Game 4, something like that. That involved Nichushkin with alcohol. So best of wishes to him. But without him, do you guys maybe think that gives an edge to Seattle? It definitely does, because Nichushkin's a really solid player, but
He was
that
really
change
good last year in the playoffs.
yeah, he was incredibly key. But yeah, I mean, like, even if he doesn't, if the Avalanche win this series, I don't know if that's gonna really make them look so good for the future rounds in these playoffs. The Islanders, to wrap up this news, I have Morrissey out for the rest of round one, but Carter said that, so I'm just gonna skip over it. The New York Islanders scored 4 goals in 2 minutes and 17 seconds in Game 3 against the Hurricanes versus Islanders playoff series. That was the fastest 4 goals in playoff history. Yeah, fastest 4 goals in history. And it was funny too, because the game was tied late in the game, and you thought, oh, this game's for sure going to overtime. The Islanders score, make it 2-1. The Islanders score 2 empty netters, it's 4-1, and then they score another goal, it's 5-1. That was really weird. It just went from a tied game to what felt like a blowout very, very early, or very, very fast, not early. So yeah, moving on now to your trending players. My trending players, I mentioned most of them. I mentioned Akira Schmidt, I mentioned Leon Draisaitl. The one I didn't mention, though, was Rupe Hintz. And Rupe Hintz so far this season, or so far these playoffs, has played 5 games, has 4 goals, 7 assists for 11 points, has a +2, and is leading all playoff leaders right now, and of course the Dallas Stars. So he's been a big part in this 6-game series, or this series that could go to 6. So very good job so far. He's done with the Dallas Stars. The final topic we're going to move on into today is all of the big hits or controversy that has happened over these playoffs. So we're going to start off with the one that happened on night 1, the Matt Dumba hit on Joe Pavelski. So I sent the clip to you guys. You guys can rewatch it right now. But my question to y'all is, do you guys think that having no punishment on that play is the right way to go? Do you guys think that? Have you guys watched it? I should start off with that. Have you guys watched it?
I have.
I'm going to watch it right now.
All right, Carter, can you give your thoughts while Jack watches it?
Yeah, quite honestly, I don't really, to be honest, I don't have a full, fledged opinion on this hit. Was it high? A little bit. Yes. But, he still has possession of the puck. I think it's just, a hit that, quite honestly, I'm rewatching it now. I don't know if he fully leaves his feet or not. Hang on, I'm just going to watch it again. He doesn't leave his feet at all, but he just happens to catch him up high. It's a scary kind of fall for Pavelski because he's mid-shot, and he's got nothing to really protect him there, from the fall. I don't think that this was worthy of a suspension. Definitely a penalty for sure, but I don't know if a suspension was the right call there.
Yeah.
They didn't call it a suspension, but if they
It was
did,
not a suspension.
yeah.
I'm going to say this. It should have been at least a penalty, maybe a fine, but no suspension. Absolutely none. Mainly because of the fact that you rewatch the play, you zoom in on it closely, you look at all the angles. No head contact. And the way Pavelski hits the floor is just the way it went. It just sucks. Honestly, the way he hit his head hard, and that was just the way the hit went. The only argument you could make here was that the hit was late, and that you could get an interference penalty. But there really wasn't anything there for suspension. I know people called it out so fast, but there was nothing there, and it really sucks. Pavelski, I believe, will play Game 6. If I'm correct, he is traveling with the team. It might be a game-time decision, which as well as that too, Carter. Nikolai Ehlers will be a game-time decision for Game 5. I just saw on my Discord server, my moderators giving me that news. So, yeah, just want to let you know.
He better be playing, otherwise I'm going to cry.
Kind of good news. Jack, what do you think about that? What do you think about the Pavelski head?
Yeah, I don't know if there probably wasn't any intent behind that. I think he kind of got him like in the upper shoulder and then maybe got some in the head. So I kind of see where they're coming from. Did he get any punishment for this?
He did not. No penalties, no nothing.
Okay, I don't know. Maybe I don't know because he didn't get him with the elbow or anything. So I wouldn't give him a penalty. I would agree with that. But yeah, I think it just got him in a bad spot. And yeah, I don't think there was any intent.
Yeah, I agree with you. The next one we want to talk about is the Michael Bunting illegal check to the head / interference on Lightning defender Eric Chernak. Now you guys can go watch that real quick. It didn't look intentional, but I mean, like, it might have been. Actually, I don't know. Looking back at it again, I'm not sure. Bunting was suspended 3 games for this, so I'll let you guys watch it, and then whoever wants to go first, give me your thoughts.
I don't like 3 games on this at all, especially.
Do you think
in
it
the
should be
playoffs.
more or less?
I think it should be less for sure.
Carter?
Yeah, like 3 games was definitely excessive especially for playoffs as well. I think it should have been 2. Definitely, like, not a good hit, especially because of the fact, that Chernak was out, and I don't know if he came back at all for Game 4 or anything like that. But I know that as far as at Game 2, he was still out, and I think Game 3 he was still out. I don't know if he was back for Game 4 at all, but definitely not a good hit, especially because he got his elbow up high there. But yeah, I think 3 games was a little too hard. I think 2 games was max.
Yeah.
But oh well. And then not only that, Bunting is out for Game 5. He's not playing in that game. I don't know if he is out.
He is out. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah, but he is out. Sheldon Keefe is keeping him out of the lineup. Probably because the Leafs are rolling right now, and you don't really want to mess with that. But yeah.
I do agree. I think it should have been less than 3 games. It is excessive for the playoffs. I would have said 2, like Carter said. But I just think 3 is a little bit excessive. I just think it's too much. The next one, Sam Lafferty was fined for an illegal cross check to the head on Ross Colton, or cross checking, not illegal cross check. Well, I guess it was illegal. But you look at this too. And this is weird. And this shows the weird inconsistency because we've seen checks before like that have gotten suspended or have gotten nothing at all. But this one gets a fine. It's just really confusing to me, like how the NHL is so inconsistent with that stuff. It's just weird to me, honestly.
Yeah, there's been times in this series where it's really gotten out of hand. So I think the refs are just really trying to crack down on it.
I think we've seen in like every game so far, there's been at least like a big scrum in Leafs versus Lightning. Every game. There was one in Game 1. There was one in Game 2. There was definitely one in Game 3. There was one in Game 4, I believe. So there's been just scrums in every single game. It's just been a brutal series, and these 2 teams really hate each other. Really hate each other a lot. So Carter, what do you think about that? Do you think it's the right call? Should there have been suspension or nothing at all?
I don't know. Like it's definitely a cross check for sure, which was kind of stating the obvious there, but anything like that. But I don't know. It's just one of those ones where it's just a scrum and he just gets him in the wrong spot, I guess, and just kind of buckles the guy. I don't know if a fine was the right call. Suspension, definitely not. Not dirty enough at all for a suspension in the playoffs. But yeah, I don't know. I'm between a fine and just nothing.
And we'll move on to this different scenario. Matthew Tkachuk was fined $5,000 for cross-checking Bruins forward, I believe Garnet Hathaway. Yes, it was Hathaway. Hathaway, it's a different scenario because the one with Lafferty and Colton was in front of the net, and I think it was mid-play. This one was after the whistle as they're having a scrum. Tkachuk just comes in from behind, bang, cross-checks him from behind. And Hathaway was hurt afterwards. You can see a trainer in the replay come out onto the ice and help him. So yeah, you guys watch this. Do you guys think there should have been anything here or what? It was after the whistle, so what do you think? Is it just a viable call, or should there have been nothing at all, or suspension?
Yeah, after the whistle is kind of questionable, but I don't think you can be handing out suspensions left and right, especially in the playoffs. I don't know if I've really seen anything suspension worthy so far, but obviously the NHL has a different view than me. So
yeah, of course. I will say this too. That's probably why he was fined more because it was from behind as well too. So yeah. Carter, what do you think about this?
I'll be honest. I thought the last one that we were talking about was the Tkachuk one. But yeah. So I gave my statement on that. So
all right then. Next one is actually the Morgan Riley board on Braden Point that there was no punishment given. Point did have to leave the game. He did come back, but it didn't look the same. The Leafs ended up losing that game. And I want to refer back to something that happened last year. Eetu Luostarinen, or it was somebody hitting or boarding Luostarinen from the boards last year, almost identical play, and they got fined, I believe, or suspended, one of the two, for that boarding call. But this year, there's nothing on that. It's just really confusing to me. So, there wasn't a video for this one. You kind of had to watch the game to see it. I guess if you go to NHL Breakers, might have it with the Steven Stamkos Matthews fight. That might be in there. But here, I'll try and pull it up real quick. But honestly, if you guys have seen it, raise your hand. Have you guys seen it at all? I'll try and find it. Carter has, so I'll send.
I sent the tweet to the chat.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I have it right here. I have the video. But yeah, Carter, let me know your thoughts, and then Jack, go watch it real quick.
Okay.
Oh, he's gone.
What the heck?
What?
Where'd he go?
I'm here. What?
Oh,
Jack, your camera just said nope.
Your camera disappeared.
Oh, for real? Oh, shoot. My bad.
No, it's fine. All right. Carter, what do you think? What are your thoughts?
To be honest, I think it definitely should have been some sort of. The fact that Riley didn't get a penalty for that is kind of insane, and the fact that there is no suspension or fine also a little bit insane. I get it; it's an unfortunate play, but at the same time, you kind of got to crack down on those because, you saw Point afterwards, he tried skating and he fell right over. That's one of those instances where it's just really scary to watch as a fan, and especially as a teammate there too. That's definitely one that I think you got to call there, especially in that game. I know everyone's probably gonna be like, "Oh, it's because he hates the Leafs and stuff like that." That is partially true, but that's not why I'm feeling that way. But I definitely think there should have been a suspension at least, or at least a penalty on that one, because that's just a dangerous play.
I thought there should have been at least something there. In all honesty, there should have been at least something, especially when you look at the Luostarinen, when he either got boarded or he boarded someone. I can't really remember. But it's just kind of weird to me. But yeah, with the intensity of that game, I guess I kind of get it. The next one, we only have a few more here. There's and let me just say, there's been a ton that I didn't include. There's been a ton of controversial calls or plays in this year's playoffs, and honestly, that happens every year. But we're just going to go over the main ones. Cale Makar suspended 1 game for interference on Jared McCann. This was announced yesterday, I believe, when he was suspended. So I did send the clip to the group chat. So did you guys watch it? First off, Jack's probably watching it right now.
Yeah.
Carter, what are your thoughts on it?
Definitely a suspension. Oh my gosh, the puck was nowhere near Jared McCann.
Yeah.
that play was long gone, and Kale McCarr just said, I'm going to hit him anyways.
It just seems like a play out of anger.
Yeah, that's
honestly.
a play that you can't really make in that scenario, especially as the best defenseman on Colorado.
Yeah. Game 5. Nichushkin's out.
Yeah.
McCarr's out. Kraken? How about it? Jack, what do you think?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Sorry, it was just so late. I mean, McCarr's not really a dirty player, but that's just a dirty play, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's suspension worthy. Honestly, one game is good.
One game is definitely good. This last one that I have here, and again, let me just say there's been so many this year that I missed. I apologize. I even got hate comments for a TikTok that I made about some of these. Nick Foligno was ejected for kneeing Radek Faksa. I actually haven't watched this one yet. He was given no supplementary punishment. I think he might have been given he was ejected, so he was given some kind of punishment. But wasn't fined or suspended. He said after the game in a quote, "It's a joke. Doesn't make any sense. It's bullshit," on the calls that he was given last night. So I want to know your guys' thoughts. What do you guys think about this? Do you guys think it's a suspension?
It doesn't look on purpose.
It really doesn't.
That's the thing with the knees. The knees is just, it's tough to tell.
It just.
But the thing is, it hurts. It hurts both guys, so I don't know why it would be intentional. So.
Yeah, Carter.
Like, here's the thing. Like, I just watched it. Looking at how he's skating into it, it looks like his legs are just opened up for like the open ice hit, bracing for it. But then the guy goes out of the way at the last second, and they just clip knees.
Yeah.
The knee-on-knee ones, I swear, are always the hardest to like read it all. But again, the same thing happened to Josh Morrissey, and now he's out for the series. So
yeah, honestly, like with those type of plays, I think they're kind of like either way. Knee on knees happen all the time. It's happened to me before. It sucks. It hurts both guys, as Jack said. So really, I get there being no call there, but Stars fans, I guess, could argue suspension. Was there any that I missed? I know you guys have watched your series individually, independently, but Carter, did I miss one?
I don't know if this is one that you wanted to bring up, but the Ryan Lomberg choking Trent Frederick.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Let me see. Do you have?
I sent it to the chat. Yeah.
What?
I sent it. Earlier.
Yeah, I've seen this one already.
Okay. Let me find it real quick.
It's before all like your spam posts.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah. That is during a fight, but like,
I don't
understand why.
You don't.
It's kind of messed up. Is that a suspension? Is that a fine? Is that anything?
I feel like it's one person's word against another, because that's when you can't really tell.
Yeah, you can't see. The refs are over top of them. They're over top of each other.
Yeah, but like clearly you can tell that Frederick's in some sort of discomfort, because pretty much at the start of it, he's kicking his legs for something, and then he just is losing it because Lomberg's just on top of him. So I don't know if it was intentional, but I guess kind of looking at it, he does almost have him in like a headlock almost, and he is on top of him. So of course I think he's going to be choking him, but yeah, I think that's one that's like a hard one to read because you can't really tell. And then Frederick had to be restrained because he was pissed off. He was screaming.
I would have been mad too. Maybe something else that happened too. Like they're deep in there. Maybe Lomberg said something inappropriate, or that could happen too. So Jack, did I ask your thoughts on that? What do you think?
Yeah, you don't do that. Like you guys said, you can see him. Yeah, you don't do that. He was kicking his feet. But yeah, the refs were on top of him. I don't know why Frederick would lie about something like that. So I believe him. I do think he choked him, and I don't know if this deserves a suspension. Maybe a 1 game at most. So yeah.
And then the last one I want to bring up is I forgot to write it down, but Matt Martin sat on Jordan Stahl. Jack's gone again. So I sent this one to the group chat as well. I want to know what your guys' thoughts on it are, because he clearly did sit on him, and he was given a minor penalty for interference. So I'll let you guys watch it real quick, and then you guys can give me your thoughts. So whoever wants to go first, go ahead.
Yeah, I remember watching this like earlier, Like, it doesn't get much more clear than that. Like, that's just, to be honest, that's just funny. Like,
Yeah.
he hits him, and then as he's on the ice, he just says, "No, nice, comfy chair," and just pops a squat. So
He makes it so
I don't know.
obvious.
I don't know if
yeah.
that's really like a suspension worthy, but I don't know. In my eyes, that's just pretty funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, definitely a penalty for sure, but like, you can't really suspect if he did a full like jump down seat on him, sure, but he like just basically stands up and just goes, and that's it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I found it kind of funny.
Jack?
Yeah, he could have made it at least less obvious he was doing that. I think he made it pretty obvious that that was his intent. So, yeah, minor penalty. That's the right call, I think.
Yeah, I agree. That's all I got. You guys got anything else? Anything else? It can be controversial. It can be playoffs. It can be anything. What do you guys got? You guys got anything?
I got nothing.
Nothing?
Not really. I'm just sad.
It's okay, Carter. Jets Winnipeg. Anyways, that concludes episode numero 23 of the NordCast. Thank you very much for listening or watching. If you are new, please give us a good review on our podcast. Be sure to tune in for more. Make sure to subscribe if you're new. And from Jack, Carter, and Nordic, we will see you guys in episode number 24 next week. Adios.